The Benefits of Being an Octopus, Chapter 12. I'm angry that I don't hear a single thing anyone says for the rest of the day. I'm so angry. How could a teacher have the nerve to say something like that? How? What does she think I've been doing my whole life? All I want to do is write mean notes to leave around Ms. Rochambeau's classroom. And the Ms. is probably an unmarried Ms. because no one would marry a miserable person like that. I glare out the bus window as we pull out of the parking lot. Stupid school. Stupid teachers. They think they're so smart. They don't know anything. But whatever. Even when the oxygen level in water drops, an octopus can still manage to maintain a constant intake of oxygen, can still find a way to keep breathing. When the bus stops to let off the kids who live in the neighborhood near the hospital, I glance over at Silas. He's tucked into the corner of his seat, his knees up to his chest, and his camo trucker hat pulled down so low that I can't tell if he can see. Silas, who has had plenty of kids trying to make his life miserable. Suddenly, I feel bad about wishing all those nasty notes on Ms. Rochambeau. Still, if I told Silas about all the stuff that I have to deal with, would he tell me to suck it up? Silas, I say. Nothing. No response, no words, no twitches. Maybe he didn't hear me. Silas, I call louder. He's like a vault of silence. He has perfected the expressionless wall. I'd bet anything he's never answered a single question in class. When we get off the bus and the other kids from the bus stop have spread in other directions, I look over at Silas again, and this time he looks back. Hey, I say. Hey, he says, all normal, like his on-off switch has been flipped, and of course he can talk now. Why do people say stupid stuff? I blurt out. Like stupid, I know better than you and you're just a waste kind of stuff. Silas doesn't answer. He's still walking alongside me, but his face has changed, like it's gone back to an emotionless wall that isn't going to let anything in or out. Silas? I say. I don't know, he whispers. Then he peels off, heads up the couple of steps to his trailer, and disappears inside. At least that was better than suck it up. As soon as I walk into the trailer, I remember. Today is the first day of the month, which means a refilled EBT card, which means a stocked fridge, cabinets with cereal, a new bag full of chicken nuggets in the freezer. I go straight over to the fridge to examine its contents. Milk, juice, eggs, yogurt, one package of uncooked chicken, and a package of ground beef. I grab a coffee yogurt, shut the fridge, and dig in the drawer for a spoon. I take my first bite of yogurt and it melts in my mouth like ice cream. It's like my old competent mom is back, and that mom knows I love coffee yogurt. Because when someone is doing the best they can, you don't tell them to suck it up. The right thing to do is buy them coffee yogurt. The walk to the pizza pit today isn't too bad because it's not windy, but the side of the road has enough puddles of semi-frozen slush that my feet are cold and wet by the time I get there. My mom is sitting at a booth with Hector on her lap, folding cardboard pizza boxes. Thanks for the coffee yogurt, I say as I reach for Hector. I slip my feet out of my sneakers and tuck them up underneath me as I slide into the seat across from her. My mom looks up from her folding and almost smiles. It's a good day. Hector grabs onto my cheek and it hurts, but he's so pleased about it that I let him. Did you go to the grocery store today? I ask him. Did you get to ride in the cart? Walmart, not the grocery store, my mom says. There's a spark in her eyes, the old mom kind of spark. Like that bag of chicken nuggets was $2 cheaper than anything they have at the grocery store. And then with all the savings, I was able to make another payment on the phone bill. And that gets us closer to getting out from under that ridiculous interest rate. How'd you get all the way to Walmart? She leans forward. Well, I found out that the bus that goes by the Cumberland Farms in the morning now has a stop at the train station. So then all Hector and I had to do after that was walk over the bridge into New Hampshire and up that hill to get there. She puts another folded box on the pile. And then Lenny picked us up to bring us back home in the break between his jobs. Did you get more diapers? She nods. Just a small package this time so I could make that phone bill payment. But I feel it, Zoe. I feel like things are going to get better. I know you've been working so hard, and I'm hoping that at least I'll be able to clean your clothes for you more often. We're so close to be able to start saving for a functioning washing machine. It's like she's my old mom again. The old mom who would zero in on a project like a laser. The old mom who told jokes. The old mom who would climb into her car and step on the accelerator like she meant it. The bell jingles and an elderly man walks through the door. My mom hops up and grabs the menu. "A table for one, sir?" she says. "Right this way, please." At one of the restaurants my mom used to work at, before her teeth got bad, it was fancy enough to have a hostess separate from the waitstaff. But I kind of like it smaller like this. It feels more like a home. Connor pushes through the kitchen door, wiping his hands on his apron as he goes. He slows down and his face breaks into a smile as soon as he sees me with Hector and realizes my mom's already been able to greet the customer. "My fabulous Zoe," he says, sitting down where my mom has been. "How was your day?" "It was okay." The coffee, yogurt, and getting a glimpse of old mom made up for a lot. "Hold on," he says. A moment later, he comes back with an ice water that has a nice fat lemon slice perched on the rim. "Now, do you want to talk about it?" Connor leans back and pushes up his sleeves. I can see his tattoos better now. That two-way cross with all these designs around it. "What's the story behind that tattoo?" I say, pointing. "That one that's like a cross. You got that in Peru, right?" "This one?" Connor says, pushing his sleeve up higher to reveal all of it. "I was in Cusco, and I'd been backpacking for weeks." He traces his finger around its edges. "I was still so raw from the fallout after coming out to my parents, and I was starting to worry that I was only there because I was running away." Hector squirms, and I shift him higher up on my lap, trying to keep him quiet so Connor will keep talking. "But it was still good to be there. I don't think it's healthy to always stay in a place like this where almost everybody is white like us. This was a place filled with all kinds of people. It's a place where brown people were once kings." He taps his tattoo, and I kept seeing this symbol all over. My Spanish wasn't great, and I didn't know any of the native Quechua, but I finally got up my courage and did my best to ask a woman selling souvenirs what it meant. Hector keeps squirming, and I spread out the sweet and low packets on the table for him to play with. She said it's called the Chicana, and that there are different interpretations of its meaning. Connor says, leaning forward, what she believed, though, was that it represents the state in which all beings are their complete selves, and that the empty space in the middle of the cross was a portal for people to enter and fully understand how we're all children of the stars. That was the moment. He looks out the window and smiles. I wasn't running away anymore. I had run to what I needed to find. Hector knocks a bunch of sweet and low packets onto the floor, but I ignore it. I hadn't ever considered getting a tattoo before, but I had this on my arm by the time I fell asleep that night. Connor brings his arm up and gives the tattoo a kiss. Sometimes life gives you a moment like that where everything is suddenly clear. And for me, it's good to have a daily reminder of it. A moment when everything is suddenly clear. Like when you start to wonder if maybe you do have a choice about the kind of person you want to become. Maybe.